Rule 1. Travel can only occur to a point within your lifetime. The rules cannot be broken. Rule 2. You can only travel for 90 seconds. Rule 3. You can only observe. Hello everybody, thank you for joining me today. I do truly appreciate it, and it's a cool day because I got the first official copy of a very fabulous book about time travel from one of my very favorite authors on God's green earth. That's Philip Fracassi, and the book is called The Third Rule of Time Travel, and I say the first official copy is here. This was an ARC, an advanced review copy for a book that's available March 2025. This one was a gift from some friends like Philip Fracassi himself and Stephen Dwayne Allison Jr. They both conspired, and Mitch Hall. They all conspired to help give me a cool copy of this book for my shelf, which I am truly, truly thankful for. Sometimes good things happen when you don't really earn it, so I think we all have to have a little bit of humble humility. But anyway, I didn't deserve it, but I got it anyway, and I'm glad of that, man. But what I did earn, because I paid the freight for, bought and paid for, and it's here in the mailbox because people did their job. The good folks, the fine folks at Underbrush Books offered the first trade edition. It's a soft cover of this book, The Third Rule of Time Travel, with a signed book plate. Signed by the author, Philip Fracassi. And I like signed. To me, signed is always better. And what I found, especially with authors like Philip Fracassi, is a lot of opportunities to get signed book plates, which are cool. Not just a piece of paper with a signature, but a design that either matches the book or it matches a theme for the author or what's going on. Has had some really cool book plates that I've been able to add to the collection over the last few years. And I'm looking forward to seeing what this one be like. So let me open this up, show you what it looked like, and brag a little bit about the fine folks over at Underbrush Publishing. Hopefully I'll be able to brag about it. Don't brag about it until you've got your stuff opened. But there we go, Underbrush Book Club by Dandy Roll. This must be the book, and I'm glad of it. Anyway, I did have a chance to read this book. The copy I read was a Kindle ARC through NetGalley. I applied for it, asked for it. They sent me a Kindle ARC for the Kindle in an email, and I was able to download it, and it was one of the very first Kindle books or digital e-reader books I've ever read. I've never read anything that wasn't on paper as far as the book goes before. And it was neat. I liked it. I might have to get my own. I borrowed my wife's Kindle Paperwhite that I gave her some time ago for some reason. I don't know which. But let's open this up. Underbrush Books puts their stuff in a box like it ought to be to help protect it. Even some regular old soft cover book matters to me, the book collector. And even if it don't, I want you to take the steps to make sure the stuff gets to me in good shape. And they did, in a box wrapped in paper so it's not bouncing around, getting all busted up in there. They did their job, and I sure do appreciate it. So here it is. I held before the ARC, and they look pretty much the same on the front, I reckon. ARC to first. The texture is a little different. The ARC is slick. The first is more of a matte finish, a little bit of a roughness. And I see from my vantage point, they're both very different on the back. So let's set that ARC aside and let's look at the first. So there's the spine, which she looks like on my shelf. It looks cool. I do like the butterfly effect on these books. And my wife and I made a deal. I read this book and I loved it. And I thought, she really doesn't read the kind of stuff I typically read. But I felt like this would be one that she would dig, and she did dig it, man. And on the other hand, I had to read The Great Alone by Kristen, what's her name? Kristen Hanna, that's it. It was a great book too. It was twice the size of this one, so she should have had to read two. And it was very, very depressing and sad at times, so she owes me one. when you make your husband cry because of the book you make him read. I think she owes me one. Anyway, the third rule of time travel. I'm excited about this trade edition. I'm excited to see it comes with, like I said, a book specific. A book Pacific, if you could be more specific. A book plate signed sticker. Yep. So typically I do affix these to the book, but I might not. I hope to get to see Philip in a week or so at AuthorCon 5 ACV, if you will, and I might just get him to flat sign this book and then stick the sticker in there for future sake. I don't know. We'll see what we'll see, but it's neat to have it in. I strongly recommend this book. This is, like I said, a book about time travel, but it's a very, very different spin on the genre. There's a lady here named Beth Barnes, and Beth is a scientist, go figure. And Beth and her husband were working on this way to travel in time, and it's a little bit different. You essentially upload your consciousness into a computer, and somehow you go through a wormhole, and boom, voila, boom, you get to go experience a point in your life in the past for 90 seconds. You don't get to pick. It's just a spot in your life, and you see through your own eyes. You hear everything, you smell everything, all of your senses work, but you can't control it. You can only observe. So for me to be able to go back to points in my life, being able to observe things happening, it would be a godsend. But at this point in the book, it's random. You don't get to control it. So imagine I'm going back to see, whatever. You want to go back and reminisce about being with a parent or a grandparent or some special moment, or your kiss with some girlfriend you had as a child or a kid or whatever. Your wedding day, your child being born, all these great things. You want to go back and see that. But instead you go back to the moment where you found out your father died, or you were in a car accident and were badly injured, or somebody died, or things like that. So it becomes very important in this story to figure out how to control where you go to. And that's kind of the rub. As they try to figure it out, they start to find out that maybe problems are happening. And now, as she's starting to discover, her husband has died. So they were working together. Her husband died. They sold their plans. They went to work for a large corporation. Her husband died, and now she's working on it with people from the company now. She's starting to uncover problems. And at the same time, the owner of the company, the big boss, wants to kind of pull the plug on her involvement, wants to take it from her. But she's uncovered problems that she can't fix if she can't do the thing. Big time stuff, affecting life and death, affecting family, affecting the past, the future, all sorts of stuff. It's something else, and I strongly recommend it. Those are, without giving spoilers, I don't want to go any farther than that, but it's fabulous. A grand, exciting, very interesting take on time travel. It's done differently than I've ever read it before. And Philip is an unbelievable author, a writer, a storyteller. He is great. And the majority of the story is from now a single mom scientist's perspective. And I think, I'm a guy, so what do I know? What I think. He does such a great job writing that way, and that's where I said my wife's got to read this. I think she would dig it, and she did. Even though time travel and sci-fi is not her bag, man, like I said, she wants to read tear jerkers about people going places and getting beaten and dying and getting cancer and getting stuck and sad and stranded and all these things. The characters in here are great, and Beth Barnes is somebody who I want to root for and I want to read more about, and I can't recommend this book highly enough. Thank you to Underbrush Books for hooking a brother up. This is the first official release copy of the book on my shelf anyway. I've ordered other copies from different people. Some limited editions that I'm very excited about. Fantasia Press, one of my favorite limited edition publishers out there. I say that, but I've got 5 or 6 that I love. Fantasia is one of the greats. They made some beautiful books. I got some beautiful stuff on my shelf from them, old and new and all stuff like that. And I'm looking forward to this coming out any day now. They've got them printed. They just got to get them to my house, do the mailman. And also Broken Binding. Was it Broken Binding? Broken Binding, a limited edition signed version, also I'm waiting for, which looks good. A hardcover. Looks kind of like this, but it's in hardcover with sprayed edges and signed. And I think it's numbered also. And I can't wait for those because I'm a book collector. You see my Fracassi collection. It's got some gaps in it because I got some stuff pulled to go to AuthorCon 5 to get Philip to sign. They're stacked up over here, so I won't forget them. But anyway, I got so many different versions of some of these books. They're great, and I'm a book collector, and it doesn't make any sense, and I'm okay with that. I've given up on trying to make sense a long, long time ago. Anyway, take a breath. I can think of no more lies to tell. Thank you for your time. I do truly appreciate it. Check out my good friend Phil. He's got some great books I strongly recommend. I'll put some links in the description if you don't mind. Take a look. Mash them buttons. You're in for some treats, some great reading, and it's addictive. And you're going to have to buy more. You read one Fracassi, you're going to have to buy more. Just the way it goes. C'est la vie, baby. Doo-doo.